My name's Sgt Dan Griffin. Last year I was stabbed 3 times whilst on duty. I knew straight away that I'd been stabbed. A lot of people described it as like being punched, but I knew immediately that I'd been stabbed. When you get hit and you feel that immense pain, it's very sobering. You know exactly what's happened. A whole host of things go through your mind. The most important one really was, I need to get this person. And thankfully I did. But whilst I was kind of led on North Sherwood Street, looking at a square metre of a road, the only thing that kind of went through my mind was my family. And it's kind of sobering, because you don't know what's happening, you don't know what kind of injury you've got, and the only thing you can think about is loved ones. I knew that there was a lot of blood loss, and I kind of looked around on the street and I could see a pool of blood gathering around where my foot was. So I knew that there was going to be a bad wound. Yes, I was scared, to be honest. Again, not ever being in that situation, and don't want to be in that situation again. And I don't wish for any officer to be in that situation. When people are deliberately coming towards you with weapons and wanting to hurt you, then no, that's should not be tolerated by anybody within any uniform. You remove the uniform, you're still people underneath that. Although the wounds were deep, they did heal relatively quickly, but again, the psychological impact of that took quite some time. It did make me reconsider, especially coming back to work and being a police officer. Actually putting the uniform back on again, and actually stepping outside of the station, and especially going back to the street where it actually happened, I wanted to do that quite quickly. It was emotional, and again, you can kind of you go through in your head about what was said, the adrenaline running through your body, the feeling of the blood running down your leg and coming out onto the street. It was kind of a surreal moment, but I took my time, spoke to my colleague kind of gave me a little bit of space, and we walked through it. And again, it was something that I wanted to go through, and thankfully I did. My colleagues have been rocks, ultimately. They've been the constant throughout this phase return, and also me kind of coming back up to full speed. We hear the term of police family, and it is true. Everybody has played their role within the organisation.
What Dan went through that night was completely unacceptable, and no police officer or anyone else should have to ever go through something like that. He showed incredible bravery that night to detain the suspect. Despite his injuries, which were serious, he remained with the suspect and was able to detain him following quite a struggle. It's not just that, it's the way that Dan has returned to work. We're incredibly proud of him. He's displayed incredible resilience. He's an absolute credit to us at the Central Neighbourhood Policing Team and to the wider Notts Police family.
I've run a number of operations for Op Sector Awareness Week, whether that be knife sweeps or proactive operations. It is a very valuable campaign. I know firsthand the impact from a victim's point of view. I've seen the effects that it has on my family, my friends, my colleagues. I wouldn't wish that on anybody else. My final message to people considering carrying a knife would be, please don't. Consider victims, their family, their friends, their colleagues, but also the impact on you, your friends, your family, your loved ones. They can be life-changing.